All right, folks. Everybody that joins the live stream is going to have to help me on this one. I am pretty tired. Had to work late today. So sticking with it. We're so close to the end. I'm so close to the end on Inktober. Definitely want to, wrap this up and resolve it and keep it going. It's a challenge, no question about it. All right, fortunately, I've got some folks joining me in the chat room. Hello to Hollow Nano, Ethan Brewer, Spider Boy, Darops Chops, J. Andrew World. Glad to have a few folks in here with me. As much appreciated. I'm tired, so any sort of questions y'all might have to sort of help this move forward is very much appreciated today. How's everybody out there doing? Good, I hope. All right. Wow, a bunch more people have joined. All right. Hey, hello to James and who else? Fernando Prado, James Gleason, Mandela Butterfly. Nice to see all of you. Why don't I make a comic book? Who says I haven't? I have. I've done a lot of like self-published smaller stuff. I'm not doing as much these days because I'm just too busy with work and the YouTube channel. So it's like I'm kind of limited as to like how many things I can sort of reasonably accomplish at once. That's about all. Hungry, need to go grocery shopping. J. Andrew World, why don't you go grocery shopping right now? Let's see, anything else? Bizarro am not good choice for Devil. Thank you. Ethan Brewer says, what are you drawing? This is Bizarro. What a bizarre character. Hello, Quantum Fire. And let's see, Jack Jones says, basically, Bizarro is Superman with a head made out of cracked marble. Yeah, that's fairly accurate. I haven't sort of sketched in pencil for too many of these, so this is getting to sort of see me figure out this character, how I want him posed, kind of in real time. Alright, I think I'm ready to start doing some inking. You sound really sleepy. Damn. I was hoping I didn't sound really sleepy. I definitely am pretty exhausted, but trying to just power through it, you know? What are some good Bizarro comics? You know what? That's something I don't think I would really know the answer to off the top of my head. I know that they've made like at least one collection of called Bizarro World, and Bizarro World has a bunch of stories by different creators. Do I read manga? Yeah, I've even reviewed some on the channel. Clone Saga intensifies. Oh, that's another one. I could have done Scarlet Spider, couldn't I? Somebody like that. Hello, C Hots. Hello, Angel Feliciano. So this is where you guys have been hanging out. Somebody ducking you? I've made no secret where I've been. I like a Bizarro that doesn't just kind of look like Superman with a bad face or something, but like actually has sort of an awkward, almost warped physique. So definitely drawing him blockier, weirder, and using yeah, just using I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Whew. Trying to give him things like a tattered cape and boots that don't fit right. I want him to look like a real sort of vagabond. Let's see. Check out Escape from Bizarro World by Jeff Johns and Eric Powell. Oh, all right. I do like Eric Powell. So that's pretty cool. You said you illustrated a book. Any advice for drawing a comic? If you're actually like at the point where you're illustrating it, my advice is to just really stick to your own schedule and you know it's nice to try to be a perfectionist, but it's more important to hit a deadline. Just sort of know when to end a page and say, look, this is how I draw, you know? And if it isn't something you're happy with, well, just next time hopefully you're happier. But just stay with it. Just keep working. And instead of like just thinking of a good illustration, definitely keep thinking, how does this read from panel to panel? Is my storytelling clear? That's really important. All right. I only really know the Silver Age Bizarro, says J. Andrew World. Are there any more big movies coming out this year? Well, there must be. There's always a lot of big stuff in November and December. Off the top of my head, I don't know. So maybe that means there's not a lot that I'm personally excited for, I suppose. But I'm sure there's a couple things I'll end up watching. Yeah, somebody, if you've got like a big movie, you know, that's coming out in the next couple months, speak up. Let us know what we should be keeping an eye out for. Okay, Son of a Red Shirt and Rosanna Mann jump in. So what is this? Is this an art class? No, I wouldn't really say it's an art class. It's more of just an opportunity for you to almost ask anything. That could be advice about drawing, but it could also just be about comics in general, or we could all ask each other all sorts of questions about, you know, some of our favorite stuff, or it can just be anything, honestly. The reason I'm drawing is every October is an artist event called Inktober. So I'm just trying to become a better artist, and I'm live streaming it to keep myself honest, so that, like, you know, I'm drawing every single day, and you can see that I'm drawing every single day instead of just pulling out old stuff. Let's see. J. Andrew World said, I learned that doing a widescreen style art, you can't ignore backgrounds. Well, I would say never ignore backgrounds, but I would also say that don't knock yourself out necessarily on backgrounds on every panel. It's more important to every page have at least one panel, hopefully a big one, that establishes the scene and the spatial relationships between the most important things. Any subject, objects, you know, key props, or supporting characters. You should know where all that is. That's usually going to be the first or the last panel, but it doesn't have to be by any stretch of the imagination. So just be sure that you regularly, at the very least, if not every page, at least every time you go to a new location, have a scene that establishes this the setting. I'll take a look at what questions and comments there are in just a moment. All right, let's see here. Man, you have some great dedication. Thank you. Aquaman comes out December 21st. I guess there is no hype. I mean, there's some hype. You're right. Aquaman's coming out. As far as Aquaman goes, I suppose it looks. I suppose it looks good. As far as Aquaman goes, I've liked Aquaman here and there. I've never been a massive fan of Aquaman. I want to like Aquaman more, but I guess when it comes to ocean-based superheroes, I've always really liked Namor the Submariner more, because he's got such an edge to him, and it feels legit. Like he's got a chip on his shoulder. Care Bear Comics says, it often seems to me Bizarro was supposed to be the villain in Superman 4 before the character was morphed into Nuclear Man. Well, it's not just your imagination. They literally filmed scenes with a version of Bizarro, and then they changed it. So you can actually find some clips out there of a really crappy looking Bizarro for Superman 4. I heard Mixia's Pitalik was supposed to be the villain of 3. I guess I've never heard that. Maybe that's possible. I always got the sense that maybe it was supposed to be Brainiac, and then they just sort of were like, nah, that's too weird, and they changed it. But who knows? Hello, Mr. Yuck. I read somewhere that in Superman 3, when Superman gets poisoned by the tobacco-laced kryptonite and his evil side comes out, that was an homage to Bizarro. Maybe. Care Bear also heard that Superman 3 was going to be Brainiac. Did you see that I finished the page I was working on? If you're talking about the one yesterday, J. Andrew World, where someone's pissing themselves, I think I did see that. Isn't Bizarro like Grundy but with powers? Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, he's kind of dumb, and he talks weird, and he's pasty white. So yeah, in a lot of ways, he kind of is like Solomon Grundy. He's a big, dumb, strong guy. So yeah, there's fair. That's somewhat fair. It's that Grundy is specifically a zombie, and Bizarro is more just like, sometimes he's a clone, sometimes he's just from a parallel dimension, but he's like literally like Superman's flip, his mirror image. Did you see Campia's show today? I don't know what that means. Do you use micron pens at all? And is that paper Bristol board? Oh, hello, Walk the Nerd. To answer your questions, it is Bristol. Just some Strathmore Bristol. Nothing fancy there. I do sometimes use microns, but one thing I've been finding is that the ink in them will smudge a little if you are trying to erase some of like the pencil around it. Like the Pigma microns will really sort of erase and smudge, so the ink quality isn't too good. Slightly better, not necessarily as good as like, you know, a bottle of ink and a brush or a quill, but slightly better are brush pens. Richard Hawker, thank you so much for the super chat. That's really nice. That's really, really nice. Hello, Nigerian gamer. Love the thumbnail. Where's it from? I'm not sure. I just did a Google search for Bizarro, and it was one that showed up that like was the right dimensions. It looks fairly recent. Looks like there's some other new people. Let's see, Barrett Page. So thank you. If Grundy's a zombie, I'm confused. He doesn't fall apart when fighting Superman. No, he's not like a Romero zombie. He's more of like the classical idea of sort of just he's just like an undead monster. He's closer to like Frankenstein's monster, I think, when he was envisioned. But technically, he is a zombie. He's raised from the dead. He's undead. Clay3613 joins us and said that he went to a local Comic-Con this weekend. Guy Fella joins. Isn't Grundy more of a revenant? I forget. Explain to me what the rules are of a revenant. I definitely don't remember what that is. Is that closer to a ghoul or something? There's a lot of undead weird monsters, aren't there? It's kind of funny when you really like think a character like Bizarro through is, you know, he's Superman's opposite, but you have to actually add lots of Superman elements before you can then twist him. So in some ways, he's still a copy. Like, I have to give him some sort of dark hair, you know? If I made him bald or if I gave him, like, you know, a blonde afro, he wouldn't really necessarily look like a duplicate of Superman specifically. But what I'm trying to do here is, you know, Superman has a really nice coif. It's always combed, and it even has the spit curl S. So I'm giving, like, my Bizarro sort of like flat, floppy, pasted hair. Like, you know, just something, like, greasy that hasn't been washed in a while kind of a look. Yeah. Something where he certainly needs a haircut. And then you give him, like, you know, big muscles like Superman. But then I'm sort of giving him, like, you know, a hunched over, almost hunchback type physique, or something like, you know, you could just sort of imagine a character like Frankenstein's monster having. sunken cheekbones, a thick brow. Yeah. But I'll still give him a little cleft in the chin there. All right, let's see. Jack Joya joins us. No justice, no peace. Me, I'm sad to see Chris not draw Bizarro. Chris am bad artist, which am boring to watch. Me hope Chris fail and never work in comics because he am talentless and know nothing. Thank you. Leron joins us. Let's see, who else? Remember when Jerry Seinfeld tried to explain Bizarro to Elaine? Yeah, wasn't that the episode where they actually like then walked into their sort of Bizarro duplicates? There was an episode where they all sort of bumped into their opposites on the street. I feel like there's very few rules with Bizarro. Like you can like sort of take bits of how he's been presented in other places, but you can sort of remix it. I feel like that's kind of fair game. See ya, Angel. Rosanna Man says, I want to see more of Superman's villains on the big screen. He does have some good ones that we haven't seen. Why haven't we seen Metallo or Parasite or Brainiac on the big screen? Those are good villains. It's always Lex Luthor and... I don't know. I guess we got Doomsday, but... that was kind of a dud. General Zod a couple times. General Zod's fine. See, if you use a villain that just is like a challenge for Superman but isn't especially deep, that actually gives you extra time in a movie to really build up his supporting cast. And if we care more about characters like Jimmy and Perry and Lois and Ma and Pa Kent, etc., you know, the police, just the people that live in Metropolis. If we have more time for the supporting cast, then the stakes get raised when a character like Metallo starts tromping around through town. And I don't really care a ton about Metallo's motivation or origin, but I care about the threat that he presents to the people that I care about. It's just an idea. My favorite evil duplicate design-wise is Spider-Man's doppelganger. Yeah, I get that. What do you think of Batman vs. Superman Lex Luthor? Didn't care for it. I think Jesse Eisenberg's a very capable actor, but I think he was like sort of given direction or made the choice to play his Lex Luthor like some sort of manic... it was either somewhere between Joker and Riddler. Just did not feel like a calculating evil genius to me. Didn't care for it. Hello, Manuel Patino and Sansanity. Hello. What else? Walk the Nerd. Do you do colors, and if so, traditionally or digitally? Yeah, I mean, I've tried everything more than once in comics, and I try to do it regularly just to keep in practice. More just so that I can respect every position than like trying to obtain those positions. As far as coloring, mostly I'll do digital, but I do have like a nice set of Copic markers, which are fun to work with because they blend well and you can layer them. But for these live streams, I've been trying to keep them shorter, so I'll frequently use different shades of grays, just sort of keep it black and white for the most part. Yeah, clean something up. Hello to Andrew Vasquez. And hello to iSketchson. What Superman stories would you recommend? I would recommend Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow and What Do You Get for the Man Who Has Everything, both written by Alan Moore. I would recommend All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. I would recommend the Man of Steel miniseries by John Byrne. What else? I would recommend looking up any sort of fun Silver Age stories illustrated by Kurt Swan. He was a really great illustrator on Superman. So those are some of the ones that I would look at. I'm sure other people are mentioning things. Can't we just make Jesse Eisenberg Lenny Luthor and get a new Lex? Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Seahawks, I think there has been a Bizarro boy of sorts with Match, the Bizarro of sorts. Yeah, Match was... and I think that there's a new Bizarro Superboy for like Superman's son. I think that there is. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that. So once Inktober is over, I do intend to keep doing live streams, but I won't be doing them daily. This has taken a lot out of me. You know, my priority is always the Comic Tropes Weekly show, and having some of that time back will help improve the show. It'll improve my overall health. So how often will I do them? I would say at least once a month, and hopefully it's more like twice a month. But just in case you're curious, what will happen to the live streams once Inktober is over? People were asking that a lot last year when I started to wrap up Inktober. And I'll take a look in just a second to see if there are any cool questions or discussions going on. Gotta get me some of that discussion. I want to get in on that discussion. Ooh, way. Made it. Hello, Sheldon. Irredeemable is also an awesome Superman story, even though Superman doesn't technically appear in it. Okay, that's fair. What else? Red Briefs aid in parsability. Manuel says, I love the What If and Rob Liefeld Comic Tropes episodes. Well, thank you. I appreciate you watching them. I have done 2 episodes on Rob. Does Liefeld still do comics, or is he retired? He still does comics. He's always worked kind of slow, so, you know, don't expect his output to, you know, drastically shoot up. But yeah, he still does stuff for, like, you know, both himself and mainstream publishers. When DC did New 52, didn't they get Liefeld to work on Deathstroke for a little while? That wasn't too long ago, and I know he's done stuff since then. I think he did like some work on Teen Titans for a little bit. Liefeld doesn't do comics, he ruins comics. Hey, you said it, not me. I still haven't drawn anything today, just getting ready. Well, hurry up. Hurry up. kidding. Work at whatever pace you're comfortable with. I don't know why this sort of amused me, the idea of having his, like, boots so loose, but it just amuses me. Um, did you ever find out why DC sacked Kurt from his position of being the main Superman artist? No, I don't know that. Is there a Marvel equivalent of Bizarro? I'm trying to think if there's sort of like an well, there's no, there's not a one-to-one thing, which they probably wouldn't be able to. I mean, there's Marvel Zombies. That's a thing that exists, just like zombie versions of the Marvel characters. There's things like Squadron Supreme, which is sort of an alternate version of DC's main superheroes. There's things like, characters getting taken over by the Venom and his Clintar alien race. They've been like sort of the Clintar have taken over other superheroes and made devils. So, oh wow, Marcel Stefanik joins us and gives a very generous €10 donation. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate it. Ethan says, I picked up the free Halloween Hellboy comic. It was pretty great. Was thinking of picking up more Hellboy. Well, I recommend it. I love the Hellboy stuff. I think it's great. Bear with me a moment as I throw in a few details. We'll be with everybody in just a moment. Let's see. Bizarro is sort of a version of Superman as a villain. Yeah, he definitely is. You didn't get any free Halloween comics? Go to your local comic book store. They very likely could still have some of those free books left. Mine did. I didn't have any time to go on Saturday, but I went yesterday, and my store still had a ton, and they were still free. So yours could be the same. That's my advice. I find Thanos more interesting than Darkseid, but opinions. Um, it depends on when he's been presented. The Infinity Gauntlet miniseries by Jim Starlin really did a good job with Thanos, and he's been presented really like as you know like just one of the most powerful villains in Marvel, and he's been presented as sort of like a winner for a consistently long time. But if you go back and like look at him when he was just like an Iron Man villain, um, there wasn't a lot to him initially. So he's just sort of grown bit by bit, and Darkseid maybe hasn't always been used as consistently well. But that said, like as of recently, I would say read Mr. Miracle by Tom King, a 12-issue series, and Darkseid is, like Darkseid was so good. Um, and if you go back and read like Jack Kirby's Darkseid or Darkseid as he was used in Legends back in 1986, Darkseid has been better sometimes. I forget the evil Ninja Turtle name. Yeah, Slash. I think that's the only one. What monthly titles are you all reading that's your favorite? Because I'm not reading too much monthly these days, so I'm always looking for recommendations. Like, what's your absolute first read if you get a pile of comics or anything like that? Like, what would you read first right now? Yeah, current stuff. Leron says Snyder's Justice League and Aaron's Avengers. Okay. Is Bizarro weak to magic? I don't know. Who would win, Grundy or Bizarro? Probably Bizarro. He has a lot more powers, and I bet he's stronger. But that said, it really all just comes down to the individual story and who's writing it, doesn't it? Anyone can win on any day in comics. Just looking at the commentary. Hello, Goku Gardley. What do you think of the new Pet Cemetery? I don't know, might be fine. The original's kind of fun. Certainly not great. Probably better as a short story. Well, no, who knows? Bizarro, Batmite, Mixia's Pitalik. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Batmite and Mixia's Pitalik have met, but I can't remember the exact story. Who would win in a fair fight, Doctor Strange or Doctor Fate? Probably Doctor Strange. He's more of a master as compared to just having like some powerful magical artifacts. That's how I'd write it anyway. I guess Dr. Fate is older. Been around in comics longer. Just don't find Dr. Fate especially exciting, I don't think. But maybe I've just never read a really great individual Dr. Fate story, which is entirely possible. It's not a character I've tried to keep up with or anything. Probably not too much longer until I'm done with this guy. I'll do some erasing of the pencils. I'll do some, I'll throw down some grays, I think. You know what? Maybe I'll just do color, actually. I don't know. Let me think about it. What kind of time is it? Probably don't have enough time. I really need to get going. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just a tease. Zoe Kelly, I don't think I said hello to you. I know you've been here a little while. McCoy Greco, I don't think I said hello to you, but hello. Thinking of Amalgam and Bizarro makes me think of Bizarnage. That's right, that was a thing. I didn't mind Amalgam too much. Amalgam wasn't bad. The follow-up, DC versus Marvel, I think it was, that one wasn't so hot. Access as a character just stunk. That's my opinion. That's my professional opinion. Access stunk. Just a guy that could go between dimensions. Wow. Oh, folks, we are moving into the home stretch on this thing. Wouldn't a Bizarro villain be a hero, though? Yeah, maybe. Access could also combine characters to amalgams. Don't forget that. No, I'll never forget that. EC Imhonde, what's up, Chris? Quickly chiming in here. What is the most bullshit victory that you have ever seen in comics? That would probably be Wolverine versus Lobo, where the two of them tumble behind a bar, and then Wolverine basically just pops up and is like, "Ooh, I won." And you're like, that's the fight? And it's like, yeah, great. Wolverine's maybe more powerful. Popular is what I meant to say. Popular. And it was a fan voted thing. But if the writer couldn't come up with a good reason for how Wolverine wins a fight like that, it's just kind of cheap to throw it behind a bar. That's just like poor planning all around on whoever thought that that would be acceptable or fun. Because Lobo's almost immortal, like, and he's a lot stronger than Wolverine. And I'm not saying Wolverine can't win, but give us something, like come up with some sort of a clever story. I don't know. That was a terrible win. Hey Chris, your Bizarro looks kind of sad. Does that mean he's happy? Yeah, probably. Probably. Lobo at that point was Superman level. Yeah, not only was he Superman level, but he, like, if he died, he'd come right back to life because hell didn't want him. Like, that was like a literal part about his character. So it's like, it's just really weak writing to just simply say, and Wolverine beat him behind that bar. Nothing makes you more mad than Storm beating Wonder Woman. See, I feel like anybody can beat anybody else, but just give us the reason why, Just give us the reason why. Like, tell us a story about it. Don't just tell us, and this character wins because they got more votes. It's not like they should know that they got more votes. Give us the actual story. Or don't give it to us as an option to vote on if you can't come up with a good reason. So yeah, the DC versus Marvel stuff kind of annoyed me. I'm tempted to do something kind of dark and depressing on this drawing, but I can't decide if I should or not. Let me do some cleanup, I think, on some of my pencils now that I've basically inked it in. Bizarro has the same mopey expression as Snyder's Superman. How did Spidey win? I don't remember. Squirrel Girl versus Gnort and Chip. Who wins? Well, Squirrel Girl. She can't lose. Draw a litter box. I already did that. I already did that in my Catwoman drawing. I don't want to make that one of my tropes. Jeez. Is this gonna not erase? This is a terrible eraser. I guess I won't really be able to erase with it. I need to buy a nice kneaded eraser. So for now, I will instead, excuse me, draw some stuffs. I'm just thinking some things through. Stop it, Milo. My cat. Alright, you all get to vote. Should I let Milo into this room, or should I just focus on my drawing? What are those markers called again? Copics. C-O-P-I-C. Milo. A kneaded eraser is better than one you don't need. Yep, let Milo in. Alright. That's a bunch of votes. He's coming in. Did you want to come in? Well, then you're going to have to say hello to everybody. This is Milo. Now he wants to explore. How about some pats instead? How about a hug? This is my little fluff ball. Yay, Milo. Look at that. You've got fans, buddy. My cat crawled on my chest to say hi. Rosanna calls him Olim. Chris, we love Milo. That's nice. I love him too. He's my shy little friendly boy. Cats relax me. I just really like cats. I like dogs too, don't get me wrong. One of my customers today had a really cute pit bull mix. He was little, he was really friendly. I patted him. What's he named after? He's not named after anything. He just seemed like a Milo to me. Seemed like a good, strong kitty name. And he responds to it most of the time. Here, he's gonna sit on my lap for a minute. I honestly thought from the thumbnail you were drawing Doomsday as Superman. I gave that a little bit of thought, actually. Hello. What? Milo? They don't want to see you right now. What? What, you want to dance now? Alright. Here he goes. Don't worry, he's purring very loudly. He enjoys this silly amount of attention. Alright, I've got to draw. Fun vote. Thanks for giving me some time to play with the cat. I like to think that someday in my life I might be able to work from home such that I could take care of a dog, but for right now I just don't think that I could take care of it well enough. So it's just cats. Milo is cool. Thriller Cat. What's the weirdest crossover you can think of? Probably Archie versus Predator. That one, because it wasn't like they made Archie, you know, like the current Riverdale, like somewhat grounded Archie. It was still Archie. So Archie versus Predator didn't quite make sense to me in terms of a crossover. Maybe there's a weirder one out there that I'm just forgetting right now, but that one sticks out as an especially weird one. Because it's like, even, like, Punisher was a weird one for Archie, but Punisher is still a comic book character. A comic book character that debuted in Spider-Man, that technically isn't a villain. So it's like you can, like, interpret Punisher enough to make him work. But Predator was essentially like a slasher movie killer in a movie. And, like, that's just not where Archie came from. So that was a strange idea for me. But if anybody has a Judge Dredd versus Betty and Veronica, was that a real one? A predator wouldn't kill them. They have no weapons. That's not really how Predator consistently works. The Predator will sometimes ignore people if they have no weapons, but the Predators don't fight fair. The Predators still fight like, you know, armed people with vastly superior weapons and technology. And the Predators have killed just sort of like randos before. So the Predators don't fight fair. The sort of idea of them having honor really popped up and just from the very end of Predator 2, when a bunch of Predators gave Danny Glover a trophy after he killed a Predator. But before that, like, you know, the first Predator movie, the Predator is kind of just a jerk. And when he loses, he tries to blow Arnold up to take him with him. So he's not really, they don't really fight fair per se, is all I'm saying. The idea of them sort of being like warriors like Klingons that have honor, that never sits quite right with me. I'm like, no, the Predator's a bad guy. That's just my take. Wasn't there an Archie X-Men crossover? Was there? I don't remember that. Superman the Animated Series was the best version of Superman ever. I have only seen a couple of those, and I did appreciate how close to certain like comics the supporting cast was and stuff. Didn't love their design for Jimmy Olsen, I remember. Yeah, that did seem like it probably was a really good show. I have to admit, I haven't seen too much of it. Well, it's good that we're almost done with Inktober, because these Copics are sort of dying on me. It's still okay. I can just tell that there's probably not a ton of life left in them. Most lackluster crossover? Judge Dredd and that other guy who had huge guns. Martial Law? I don't remember. Superman Muhammad Ali was pretty strange. Yeah, that was fun, but it looked good and it was fun. I don't think that one was bad. Not everything is great, but doesn't mean it's crap. Alright, we're getting close on some of this. Still got a little ways to go. Now I'm going to do red with a slightly lighter gray. A little less of it to do. Eventually I'll build up to the point where I'm doing actual highlights of certain things. Or shadows in this case. It's kind of the opposite of highlights. Add toilet paper stuck to his foot. I'll give that some thought. That's not a bad idea. I don't know how he'd come across it is all. I think that Bizarro would possibly just poop himself and not clean up. That's my big concern. Would Bizarro clean up? Maybe. Bizarro will surprise you. How many plies does he use? He doesn't know about the 3 shells. He could have just got out of a stall. Okay. I think me late. You're right on time, C. Kim. Whenever you arrive, it's just right on time. I'll take a look at like the questions in a sec. I definitely have been quieter tonight than other nights. I'm glad that at least the people in the chat are able to sort of have conversations. I wish I had a little more energy for just sort of talking to everyone. So, you know, I apologize for that. I guess this is usually red. Anybody get Red Dead Redemption? And if so, like, thoughts? A bunch of my friends got it. They say that it's very fun. Don't think I'll have time to play it anytime too soon, but I'm very curious about it. I'd really like to play it. You ever going to cover AirCL, Chris? Yeah, probably. I need to do some more research. Bizarro Superman has kind of that Frankenstein's monster appeal. You want to give him a bowl of soup, a cigar, and light his thumb on fire. I've been wasting time on it all day. It's great. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Somebody says it's a bit slow, and I think that's referring to my question about is Red Dead Redemption good? I can deal with slow. That makes a certain amount of sense to me. Yeah. I just remembered a Bizarro thing. Did anybody else out here watch C-Lab 2021? They created some weird clones of the main characters, and like one of them just kept going, Bizarro, me love you, Bizarro, me love you, Bizarro. Oh, it was intentionally really, really annoying. Oh, that was pretty good. Me love you, Bizarro. What about the tick? Have you thought of doing a show on ElfQuest? I actually have, JoJo. I probably will at some point for sure. There's definitely a bunch of sort of indie and self-published comics that sort of help pave the way for a lot of other people, and there's definitely stuff to say about ElfQuest, both in terms of what it is as a comic and what it sort of opened up for other creators. So, yeah, I would definitely consider doing that sometime. You should cover Fred Hembeck too. Maybe. Yeah, that's true. Probably a lot of people don't really remember Fred Hembeck these days. I don't know. I was never a huge fan of his artwork or comedy, but at the same time, it was sort of like comforting to just have it always there. If that makes sense. He was always around. Yeah, I think that'll probably do it for tonight. Appreciate everybody that's been here. Appreciate the super chats. Hopefully that's kind of a fun take on a sloppy Bizarro. Sorry I wasn't too chatty tonight. I totally realized that I was very quiet. So, yeah, just, I guess some of that exhaustion was just with me and I couldn't shake it all. Wish I could, but certainly very grateful for everybody that's popped in here tonight. That's really awesome. I did have a good time. And just sort of adding a little bit here on like basically I imagined that this Bizarro threw up on himself, so that's what these sort of stains are. And you know what else I sorry. He probably wet himself. Yeah, he stained his clothes. Oh, very immature. That's a sure sign of exhaustion. And wasn't there something someone suggested I put under him? And, oh yeah, like somebody wanted him to have like a little square of toilet paper stuck to his boot. So there. He's got a little piece of toilet paper stuck to his boot. All right. I hope that that was enjoyable. What am I thinking of for tomorrow? Let's see what the prompt is. I can't think. Oh, tomorrow's topic is Jolt. Thank you, Cara Bear Comics. See ya, C. Kim. That looks pretty finished, Chris. Yeah, for today, this is finished. Oh, you know what? Excuse me. I didn't quite finish his abs, though. I feel like and his muscles here, so just do a little bit here. That's a little better. I think. I don't know. You don't always make the best decisions when you're tired. Jolt. Jolt could be anybody that has electric powers. That's the first thing I think of. Yeah, a lot of suggestions here. Electro, Black Lightning, Static Shock, Jolt Gum. No, I haven't. Livewire, The Blob drinking Jolt Cola. It's not bad. Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. These are interesting questions. There actually was a superhero named Jolt as well. She was a member of the original Thunderbolts towards the end of the initial run. Shocker. Yeah, maybe. How about somebody receiving their powers jolt of something? Yeah. Storm, sure. Uncle Fester. That's pretty creative. I mean, you could always have Joker giving somebody an electric shock buzzer handshake, right? So that's a way to go too. Bob Kane tropes video. Yeah, I think that's a definite possibility at some point. Definite possibility. Something I've thought about. The reason I'm not doing it right now is it wasn't that long ago that there was a great Bill Finger documentary released earlier this year. Oh, I already drew Storm. That's a good point. Jolt from Transformers. Well, I already drew a Transformer too. A guy getting struck by lightning. Yeah. I actually had a friend get killed that got hit by lightning, so for whatever reason that just sort of like depresses me. But that's on me, that's my problem. There's a lot of good suggestions. You could just drink a bunch of Jolt Cola and see what kind of drawing you get. That's kind of clever, Chrissy. That's really clever. Shazam is also really clever. Maybe I could do something creative like showing Billy Batson becoming Shazam or Captain Marvel. Johnny Thunder's Thunderbolt. Yeah. Except I'm really sort of thinking that like that would be fun to do. Oh, you don't need to be sorry, Ethan. You didn't like trigger me per se. It's just yeah. Russell Duffer says Livewire in the blue containment suit. Why not Black Lightning and Static? Why not? I didn't say not. It's just I don't know what I don't know what'll inspire me, but off the top of my head, do kind of like the idea of trying to do Shazam, just because I've never tried before, but we'll see. I kind of wait until the day before, sketch something out, like during maybe my lunch break, refine it when I get home, and while I'm eating dinner, I'll usually lightbox something, and then just ink it for all of you to stick with it. You could try drawing while I continuously tase you, bro. No, I'm not going to tase myself ever again. All right, folks, I'm going to take off now. Great suggestions, good conversation. Appreciate the live chats. I will see you tomorrow. I work the evening shift tomorrow, so I'll probably just be starting right around now tomorrow. Hello, Kai Lamb. Zeta's Space Girl series. Okay, well, I have read El Eternaut. I will probably review it in the next several months, Marcial. I'm going to talk about Argentinian comics, and the Eternaut is definitely way up there as far as a book that I've read that I could review. So, I'm taking off. Folks, I want you to keep reading comics while I'm gone. I'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully. If not, feel free to watch the archived version, but figure out what I'm going to draw tomorrow. So yeah, until then, keep reading comics. Bye!